Yeah, I think the last 10 years, Bend has experienced a tremendous amount of change in all sorts of realms, but I think one of the most notable ones is just our demographics. I think our community continues to evolve. It is more diverse. We have quite the mix of folks that are moving here for a quality of life. So that ranges from folks that are retiring at the end of their careers to a very young contingent of folks that are wanting to make a go here of it in Bend, and really in that kind of creative economy. So it's really that broader mix that I think is driving a lot of the conversations in the city, and particularly with transportation, as we look towards creating a transportation plan for the future, and then some immediacy with that plan with the transportation bond, of making sure that our values are embedded into that plan, and that we really address all needs of our community, from those that are the driving public that are frustrated with congestion, to those that don't have a car, that might be seniors that rely on public transportation or rely on walking, to the younger community that wants to use bikes to get to and fro. So it's making sure that we've got good balance in our transportation plan, and really a lot of the core infrastructure that the city provides. I think that we need to evolve with our community, and that changing demographics is sort of at the forefront of making sure that we as a public agency are meeting people where their needs are at. I think one of the things that is really driving some of our thinking here is our climate is changing, and we are seeing it as evident by the last couple of weeks. More wildfires, not even the quantity, but just the severity. We also are seeing the last 10 years, we've seen a lot of snow events, a pretty extreme snow events. So I don't think that pattern is going to change. So we need to be thinking about what we can do locally to combat that. There's some situations in other Intermountain West towns where they face circumstances. So it's things like managing that wildland interface, to making sure that we are protecting our community and how it interfaces with the forests, and doing more aggressive mitigation and removing some fuels. I think the issue of affordability is going to continue to be at the forefront, as we are a desirable place, and we see that those folks from urban areas wanting to come here as a result of the pandemic. We're seeing that across the country and really across the world, of that lifestyle being a key driver into where you call yourself, or where you call home. So making sure that we are keeping up with that demand and providing a wider array of housing choices. And I think also our community expectations are of that point where we need to be working more collaboratively with our local government agencies, to really meet our community where they're at, and addressing issues like affordability and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and issues of climate change, and infrastructure development. Those need to be, that work needs to happen across governmental jurisdictions. So it's kind of that concept of what we call a collective impact or shared governance. I think that's really going to help drive some of the conversations. But we have the added advantage, I think, of a four-year university coming to town, and really using our academic institutions and strong community partners to help us do that work. It's not all just about government, it's about partnership and building the kind of city that we all want to see. I think the biggest challenge is making sure that we don't lose our sight on equity. That, we want to make sure, especially as we come out of this pandemic and out of the situations with the fire disasters across the state, that we are providing opportunity for everybody, and that everybody's voice matters. So I think one of the biggest challenges is making sure that we do business a little differently to make sure that we're reaching communities that may not have traditionally been involved. And that's going to take an entirely different approach. So some of what this challenge is making sure that our governance system evolves to the needs of the community, and really providing an opportunity for us not to become what we are so fearful of a haves and have-nots, and making sure that policy reflects that goal. Everything from where we invest in infrastructure, to our land use patterns, to our provision of public services, and our access to those decision-making bodies, such as city boards and committees, city council. Really, that's that underpinning of what's going to keep us successful, is ensuring that diverse voices are helping to shape Penn. Yeah, my word, and I want to put a qualifier to it, is I feel inspired. And I know that might sound a little bit odd in these times where there is so many challenges, but I actually see this as a huge opportunity, this reflection that's occurring right now. The critical voices, some of that unrest is really leading to meaningful change. And so all of that for me as a public servant is feeling really energized by that, by the movements that are happening all across our city, across our country. And we have an opportunity in Bend to be able to channel this investment because it's going to continue to be a desirable place. Let's make sure that it's the intentional community we all want it to be. So, that word inspired, I think, captures sort of my emotion around the times.